Hi everyone, it's Christina Kerp here of the Castaway Kitchen, and I was supposed to do a live to answer questions from all of you. I got so many questions that I got from my stories in the question box, and lots of good questions. So I was gonna do a live and save it to my feed. However, Instagram is not allowing me to go live today. It did this early on during the pandemic where it like banned me from going live, and I guess because it's election day, they're scared I'm gonna like spread misinformation, which is the farthest from the truth because I love voting and I voted by absentee ballot as a military spouse. I always do. Anyway, I am again Christina Kerp, author of Made Whole, Made Simple and Made Whole Cookbook, and mom, chef, blogger, and TP. So what I'll do is just read the questions off that I got off my email and then answer them here. So the first question is, how do you manage hormonal HS? So HS is short for hidradenitis suppurativa. The Dr. Pimple Popper just did a video on hidradenitis suppurativa. So it's cool because it gets a lot of eyeballs on it. It's a skin disease that manifests as like abscesses and boils, usually like inner thigh, groin area, underarms, can happen under the breast as well. Sometimes people also get it on their back and other places, but like groin, buttocks, underarm, kind of like delicate private areas are the most common, which is why it can be really embarrassing and people don't talk about it. But it's not an STD, it's not because you're dirty. A lot of it's an auto-inflammatory skin condition with like autoimmune components to it essentially. So I put mine in remission through the autoimmune protocol, but like this person asked, it can be hormonal. A lot of people notice that they get it they flare up around either ovulation or before the start of their period. You usually see people around when the time their period's starting. And, when it comes to hormones that are out of balance, blood sugar regulation is key, and eating nutrient dense foods. So, omega-3s, magnesium for supplementation, zinc, in terms of diet, like lots of leafy greens, some prebiotic, starch, like you can do like sweet potato, really omit any inflammatory foods. You could get a Dutch test done through a practitioner to see if your hormones are out of whack. Sometimes, I think low progesterone honestly causes more issues than anything else, or in high estrogen, which again, when there's high estrogen, there's often like blood sugar issues. So that would be the biggest thing. And again, HS is something that does not heal overnight. It takes a long time to reverse. It depends on what stage you are. I was stage 3, so it took me a long time. So patience is key and just giving yourself grace. Another question was, do you miss Hawaii? Oh, we miss Hawaii all the time. Actually, when we were applying for orders, we did apply for orders in Hawaii. While it's not Tampa where we want to go so we can retire out of there, I'd be happy to go back for a few years. It's a wonderful place. Yes, we miss Hawaii a lot. What brands for white and red vinegars? Balsamic vinegar. So I like this brand called O. They make olive oil and vinegars, and they're balsamic vinegars. And I got this question more than once, and I know why I got it, because in my second book, I do make a note on buying balsamic vinegar. I love using aged balsamic vinegar in my recipes for tang, and a little sweetness. However, a lot of balsamic vinegars tend to be full of sugar. And so if you look at the ingredients, trying to see where I have that note. If you look at the ingredients in balsamic vinegar, you'll see that a lot of them include like vinegar, or like aged vinegar, grape concentrate, or aged vinegar, grape must. So grape must is essentially a grape concentrate that's fermented to make balsamic vinegar, but oftentimes it's added after the fact as well to like sweeten it and make it thicker. And that shouldn't be the case. Aged balsamic vinegar doesn't need anything else. It's not supposed to be like a candy. It's still vinegar. But what I tend to look for is, if you look at the ingredients and you see like the extra ones, I don't go for that. But another good way to look at it is look at the sugar content. So usually the serving size is about 2 tablespoons, and I've seen it range from like 4 grams of sugar per 2 tablespoons to 8 grams of sugar per 2 tablespoons. So just go with the ones that are lower sugar. And again, I like the O brand. Okay, best supplement line, where to get quality products. So there's a lot of phenomenal supplement lines out there. Unfortunately, none which you can actually pick up in stores. Like none of the really good ones are available, at Costco, at CVS, at Walgreens. It's just unfortunate. And it's not that they're that expensive. It's just that they really, what's the word? They manage how they're stored and shipped, so to protect the quality of them. And a lot of times, when stores, they stock them and they have them for a long time and all that. So I really like, okay, so there's biotics research, there's Apex Energetics, there's Designs for Health, there's Standard Process. They're all really good ones. Gerald has some decent stuff. Seeking Health has some good stuff. So I actually get my supplements through FullScript, which is an online dispensary for practitioners, and I have an account, and there's a link on my website that says supplements, and I don't have my own supplement online or anything like that, but you can order these kind of brands through that website. And I like it because they'll ship your probiotics with an ice pack and stuff like that. So it's good stuff, and it's all the products that they offer are vetted. My husband hates coconut. Can I substitute almond milk in your recipes? So coconut milk is really yummy and fatty and delicious. And it replaces like heavy cream essentially in a lot of recipes, but it's not bone broth. It's not, I don't recommend almond milk, especially like store-bought almond milk isn't like thick enough. But if you do make homemade cashew milk or cashew cream, which is wonderful because you can make it thick, and I have a recipe for cashew cream on the blog, and that's something that you could use more 1-for-1. It really depends on the application. If you're trying to do like a pan sauce or make a soup creamy, then no. But if you're using it just to for a baking recipe, probably okay. Thoughts on low residue diet? I've never heard of it. I don't know. There's so many diets out there. I've never heard of the low residue diet. Whatever happened to your stolen kitchen stuff? I'm still mad about it. We don't know, actually. The Tampa police called me a few weeks ago that they were going to raid a warehouse, which apparently had a bunch of stolen appliances. I don't know what happened to them. I wasn't able to provide them with serial numbers because the serial numbers are like on the product, and the distributor or the vendor who sold them to me could not get me those numbers because they're like, we don't have them. We just have the SKU. So I was like, I don't know. So essentially I have like no claim to them. But luckily they were replaced. Thank goodness. Do you enjoy reading? Best books you've read in the last 12 months? I do enjoy reading. Sometimes I get burnt out because I feel like all I read are like nutrition books. But this year I really enjoyed reading Glennon Doyle's Untamed. I thought was phenomenal. I really enjoyed reading Killing Sarai, which is not great quality, but it's kind of like it's entertaining and like whatever series. It's like this like sexy assassin series, whatever. It's garbage, but so good. Balsamic do you use without must? I already answered that. Do you like Whole30 or keto? So I like both of those. It depends on what the goal is. I really like Whole30 because things I like about Whole30, it's a great gateway to understanding your body. It's a wonderful template that does work as a great elimination protocol. It's free. There's endless free resources online. So many bloggers created Whole30 shopping lists and blog posts and recipes on there that you could do Whole30 forever and never spend a dime, which is great. And there's just a lot of infrastructure and support, as well as, the Whole30 cookbooks and the Whole30 pages and the Whole30 website. I think Whole30's a template that it's essentially paleo, really clean paleo, just without like sweeteners, which, are like bread-like foods, which I think is kind of how I've eaten for years as like home base. And keto is great. I did keto for a really long time. I still do. Like yesterday was actually a keto day for me, but then like today I might have sweet potato with breakfast. I think keto is great because a lot of people have blood sugar regulation issues. And for a lot of them, just doing standard American diet to like a Whole30 or paleo template is enough to remedy that. But for others, it isn't. It also depends on how you paleo. Like I'm a foodie. I can make anything decadent. And so my paleo after a while when I wasn't on a Whole30 was, very like if you're eating paleo bread and paleo pancakes and paleo cookies and maple syrup and every single thing you eat, you can still end up with blood sugar dysregulation issues. Like you're essentially just on a gluten-free diet, and gluten-free diets can be very unhealthy. So it doesn't mean just because it's paleo or gluten-free that it's automatically like a healthy food. Same thing with keto. There's a lot of garbage keto food out there, like just bad quality, processed, like inflammatory fats. So I think that the perfect balance is like a marriage of the two, like a Whole30 approach to keto. And again, both should be done cyclical or intermittently, and kind of like maybe do like lower carb for a while and then higher carb and see how you feel. And I think people's needs change. Like keto might really work if you've got insulin resistance, or if you've got like estrogen dominance or something you're working on, but you can manage your stress levels really well. But again, it's neither are a magic bullet, right? Because everyone's needs are different. How are you mitigating stress this week in particular? Not well. Today has been really hard. I didn't want to start the video like with this, but no, my body has 100% been responding to the election today. Like my period's like a week late, and I just got it today, which I thought honestly it wasn't going to come till after the results. But and I've had like knots in my stomach. Like last night, like my stomach hurt, and I had like TMI, but like loose stools just from the nerves. So I've backed off of workouts a little bit. Like I might go work out today, but keep it really gentle, but just for the endorphins, because I need them. And just going to sleep early and waking up early because the sun's going down really like at 5. So I like to get up earlier so I can have sunshine in the morning. Is AIP helpful for stage 2 arthritis? So it can be. I mean, again, everyone's different, but I think that because it eliminates inflammatory oils and nightshades and like nuts that can be inflammatory, and grains, and can help if you have like leaky gut, I think it can be. So I think like again, I wrote this really good article for Paleo on the Go, which I love their food. They have like AIP compliant meal delivery. About, like the same way keto, paleo, like AIP, all these things, like, the elimination protocols are not to be forever. They're tools. And I think that AIP can be really useful, and until it's not, or until you feel like you're done with it, or it's not helping any longer. And sometimes it's okay. Like sometimes for some people, diet is enough to be like, take you all the way through to remission and you feel amazing. Other times, you need a little bit extra help. And sometimes that requires some testing to see what's like, if there's any underlying conditions like with your gut or your hormones. Sometimes diet alone can remedy that, but sometimes it can't. So I think AIP is a good start. Do you have an update on the dog attack, yours and Bruce's recovery? Yeah, so for those who don't know, about a month and a half ago, when we were picking up Justin in North Carolina, he just come home from Iraq, and we were on our way back to Virginia. A pit bull attacked Bruce and bit me on the arm. My bite was nothing. Bruce got all the stitches and all messed up, but Bruce has made a full recovery. So have I. I had to get the rabies vaccines, but we're fine. So yeah, we're okay. Nothing ever happened with the guy. He was never found. Animal control. Excuse me. Animal control never found him. Probiotics. I tried one with histamine block and not good. So probiotics, I'm a fan of the spore-based probiotics lately. So I really like Orthomolecular. I like the Mega Spore Biotic brand. Just Thrive has a good one as well. But not all probiotics are low histamine. So if you have histamine issues, you have to be careful which probiotic you use. Seeking Health has one called Probiota Histamine X, which is the one that we use at Dr. Campbell's practice. People seem to do really well on it. But again, some people make them constipated, so it depends. You might have to kind of like Goldilocks it and try a few until you find one that's just right for you. I'm starting NTB training in February. Should I start a new Insta for biz, or should make my current into one? I don't know. I mean, if you already talk about food and nutrition and stuff, then you can just keep your Instagram. I honestly changed my personal Instagram to the Castaway Kitchen years ago, and I haven't changed it back. But if you want to keep things separate, like if you want to keep sharing pictures of your kids or your family and don't want to mix it in with the business stuff, then change it. But it depends on who you're trying to reach. Like if you feel like you're going to be seeing people mostly within your community, that could be okay. Best healthy dairy substitutions. So I don't really do like fake cheese. I make my own, like the store-bought ones usually don't have a ton of good stuff in it. The Miyoko's Kitchen brand, theirs is the best I've seen because it just has like cashew and coconut and some stuff. And they have some, cheese and butter, which is pretty good. But it's really expensive. I have a few recipes in my first book and in my second book. So in this one, I have the Mott's blocks, and then I have some creamy sauces. And really in, cooking, hold on. So, these can be used to like the Mott's blocks to like melt on top of something. The creamy sauces to like, give that like tanginess to a recipe. In my first book, I have same thing, like a hard cheese and then like a cheesy sauce, right? That looks like nacho cheese. So good. And those kind of help, but they're real food-based. Legit Bread Company has the cheese mix by the Curious Coconut, which is like tapioca based, but it's legit and it's really good. And that one you can use almost like, you can melt it on pizza, you can fry it up like halloumi. It's delicious. And it's AIP compliant. Do you still cook with sazon packets or bouillon? So no, I actually use, Eat Luisa has an organic sazon and it's amazing. And I just posted a recipe in the blog with it. And I use that because like the Goya packets, first of all, Goya, but they have a ton of horrible like additives, like no thank you. So yeah, I have Eat Luisa, but if you look up I am Simply Flor, Flor Gomez. She's like she does a lot of Whole30 recipes. And she's Dominicana and she has a ton of like sazon and kind of just like basic like Whole30 and healthy replacements for these like, Latin staples in your kitchen. How to get over a food funk? That's a tough one. I feel you. I kind of felt like that this summer. I got in a food funk, which is like weird for me because I like never. So the way I do it, but I mean, again, I'm not the average Joe because I love food. I just splurge on a meal. Like I will save up a little money and be like, okay, today I'm going to go to like the farmer's market or, Whole Foods or like somewhere where there's like really nice stuff and like go find what speaks to me at the store, like a beautiful ribeye or some gorgeous pumpkins or, the seafood looks good and just buy a few really fun ingredients and get home and just like make a really fancy kind of fun meal. And then after that, I kind of feel inspired again, Sometimes it's that routine of just like cooking for the family, getting in the thing, like making it like quick and easy and affordable and, kid friendly can get you like so bored with food. So sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to make whatever I want. And if the kid Jack doesn't like it, then he can not eat. Like, and if Justin, like I'm cooking for me because I'm the one who cooks the meals in this house and I need to, and normally they love those meals too. So it's, but that's how I do it. I don't know. How do you know when it's time to adjust things in your diet, like removing caffeine? So I think people have a hard time with that. And I talk about it a lot in both my books, about listening to your body, tweaking as needed. We are not static. But that is the hardest thing for people to kind of get. And I think we have to listen to your body. Like, even if you're eating well, working out, doing all the right things, but is your sleep off? Are your bowel movements? Like, do you have alternating constipation and diarrhea? Do you wake up in the middle of the night? Are you having a hard time falling asleep? Are you burping after meals? Like, those are things to tweak. And again, it's not that anything you were doing was bad. It's just that now your needs have changed. So for me, I noticed like my anxiety was kind of like rising, because essentially the last 12 months of my life have been nonstop, like insanity. And caffeine just in the morning, I already wake up with high cortisol. Like, I don't want to feel to that fire. So I listened to my body and I tried it out and my body responded to it. Had it not responded to it, I would have been like, give me the caffeine. But it's funny because now when I do have caffeine, I feel it. Like, I feel that like wired feeling. Like, so I'm drinking like decaf. I've been on decaf since January. But really, really listen to your body. Like, listen to those subtle things. Don't wait till your body's screaming at you to make changes, Okay. Next. Did you ever hear where you have to move next? So we have applied for several orders. So we just applied for 3 different orders, including some deployable things out of Tampa, and then as well as Hawaii, and then Colorado Springs as backup. So hopefully we will know the answer by December 2nd. So keep us in your thoughts and prayers. Do you still recommend the NTA nutritional therapy program? So I love the education that I got. And I think that it is solid, and that the method works, and that the resources are incredible. However, there's a lot of like drama internally with the NTA. Like they have had management or like leadership issues. Like, so since a lot has changed since when I did it. Like now they're not doing the function evaluation, and and then also I've kind of been with how the NTA has kind of handled things this year, because it's not a very diverse community, and I think they kind of weren't owning up to that. There's just been a few things that have been a little weird, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm also struggling with I don't know what's going to happen with our credentials. Like, are they going to be worth a damn? Like if the company, if the organization dissolves. But if you're in it for just the information, it's awesome. It's really great. It's just, I don't know. It's so hard. Again, so much of the wellness community space just needs to be overhauled. And I think the NTA is one of them, included. How much longer will Justin be active duty? So he's got 4 to 3 years. So next year, the next duty station will either be 4 years if it's shore duty, 3 years if it's sea duty. And then, after that, he's done. How did you survive morning sickness and taste aversions during pregnancy? I missed food. Oof, that's hard. So I just ate what felt good. I mean, back then I wasn't gluten-free. I wasn't managing my autoimmune issues. I was working on a food truck when I was pregnant with Jack. I worked in a kitchen. It was so hard. The smell of, luckily it was healthy food, but we would fry sweet potato fries in coconut oil, and the smell of the coconut oil made me whoop. So all I would eat was sourdough bread, sourdough grilled cheese with Tillamook cheddar, tomatoes, and kale is what I ate my first trimester, which I couldn't eat any of that now except for the kale. But Allison, I know it's you, girl. Honestly, just eat what feels good, even if it's straight carbs. Sweet potato toast, or find a really good, clean, cracker gluten-free bread, something that's really, easy to digest. Ginger tea, a lot of ginger tea. And sleep. Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard, but just know that the baby will be okay. I know it's so hard. It's so crazy how you're trying to grow this human, and then you're just throwing up everything you eat. But your body knows. It's just the bodies are weird, but it'll protect the baby. And maybe if you drink smoothies, if you can down those, I don't know. Even if you add some foods back in, I know because you have autoimmune stuff, it's a little harder, but anything that you don't react to, would just say fair game, even if it's not paleo or keto or whatever, even if you have to add in oatmeal, gluten-free oatmeal, or just anything that you can eat that will, that you can keep down. Suggestions for a day in Tampa. My husband and I will be there next weekend for a wedding. Yeah, so Tampa's a cool town, man. Downtown area is really pretty. There's a place called the Gin Joint that has live music and really good food. They have a duck dish that's out of control, and they're all being very safe and social distancing and separating tables. When we were there, we really liked that. The zoo is, if it's open, the Lowry Zoo is really nice. It's a really beautiful zoo. St. Pete Beach is always fun and really pretty, and downtown St. Pete is super funky and has tattoo shops and magic shops and stuff like that. I mean, again, a lot of things are shut down because of COVID, and but a lot of places are being really safe, and just you wear your mask, and there's in Seminole Heights, which is the area where I'm gonna live. I really like Sea House. They have really good gluten-free options, some paleo stuff, and just really nice outdoor patio seating, which is nice. It's casual kind of joint, and everything starts with a C. It's champagne, chocolate, coffee, essentially, is their theme. But yeah, I mean, I haven't had that much time to get to know Tampa that well, because my whole time there, everything's been COVID shut down. So is there anything I can't cook or make, and why? I don't think so. I mean, I'm very big on like, just give it a go. I do struggle with certain things um, like I can bake, but I'm actually better at like healthy baking than like traditional baking because I was never that much of a baker, and I taught myself to bake, but I taught myself to bake like gluten-free healthy versions. So when it comes to like man, those Halloween candies I made for the blog, like I burnt like 3 batches of white chocolate before I got that shit right. Ugh. So I guess that I struggle with, but I still do it. It just takes more time and it's less fun. Okay, I've answered all the questions. We're 25 minutes in. I hope these were useful to you. I'll do these periodically. And we also have kitchen hours in my cooking club, and we do weekly live cooking classes over there, which is a blast. So hopefully you can join us at Mi Casa Cooking Club. And if you have any other questions, just send me a DM or drop them in the comments. Bye.